Hi guys, Lucy aka The Watchbugs Diaries here with another video for you. Now, Christopher Ward is a name that you have probably heard quite a lot of recently, and for very good reason. They are absolutely killing it at the moment. I previously reviewed the Sealander and the Sandhurst, and I already got excited about where they were going to go, and they are improving every single release. The last year they killed it with the Bel Canto, which I would love to still get my hands on, and then they dropped the 12. They are seriously stepping up their game, and this watch just shows it. I'm so excited to have this in for review. I know a lot of you guys got really excited about it as well, so let's get into it. It is named the 12 simply for the fact that it has 12 sides to its bezel. Dodecagon seemed a little bit too nerdy apparently, but the name, the 12, just makes me think of like 12 epic bosses in a video game, and that just makes me love it even more, although it does make me say the 12 every time. Christopher Ward have very openly embraced that Genta design, and it has clearly taken inspiration from a number of familiar watches, but we will talk about that later. Let's get into the specs. Size-wise, the 12 comes in at 40mm, but it wears deceptively well for that size, mostly thanks to the very, very slim case. Now the steel comes in at 9.95mm thick, and the titanium is even slimmer at just 8.95, which helps it sit really nicely on the wrist. The very 70s sports watch style integrated bracelet picks up the light absolutely beautifully and keeps that fluid aesthetic, and it also has quick release, which is always a bonus. Now Christopher Ward have released 6 different colourways, 4 of which are in their steel variety. They are the Glacier Blue, Nordic Blue, Basalt Grey and Arctic White. And then their grade 2 titanium options are the Nebula Purple and the Astral Blue, which is the one I've got here. Just on a side note, does the name of the colour matter? Can we not just keep it simple? They're getting a little bit out of hand here. This titanium option is crazy, crazy light. It comes in at just 41 grams. So considering that is the whole watch, including an integrated bracelet, is insane. Is this too similar to insert any Genta 70s inspired watch here? Now the answer to this is, well, yeah, they are very similar. But this watch is kind of like a love child of a lot of them. I think it's really hard to be original because unless you have a very distinct case shape, you have a very distinct pattern that no one else is allowed to copy or take inspiration from, you could look at pretty much any watch and be able to think of multiple other watches that have a similar feel and aesthetic. Although I do think that this one is very close to a lot of those watches. I will admit that. Now let's talk about that main event, which is obviously the dial. There's a lot going on, so let's break it down. Firstly, that very statement dodecagon bezel has all of the polishing options possible. You've got polishing, you've got brushing, and you've also got sandblasting going on as well. It does create a lot of dimension and a lot of depth and picks up the light really, really well. Dial colour-wise, it goes from Astral Blue to a black gradient on the dial. I've really, really enjoyed photographing this. That colour is beautiful in person. I thought the renders may have over-egged it basically, but in person and in the sun, it just pops. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade. Now texture-wise, they have the 3D printed Twin Flags logo covering the dial, and this represents the English/Swiss heritage, Swish, turned into Sean Connery, Swiss heritage of the brand, and I like that little tie-in. I think that's really cool. Now I know this isn't the right term for them, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The shark tooth indices, because that is what I think of when I look at them, are quite bold, they're quite large, so very, very clear to read, very legible, and they also have big lume plots within them, which obviously gives very good lume. There's also a colour matched date wheel at the 6 o'clock position. It's very subtle, so it doesn't detract from the rest of the watch and being able to tell the time, but if you do need to know the date, it is there. Now, while there is a lot going on in this dial, the one thing that I am incredibly thankful for, and you guys should know by now, it is one of my pet hates. There is barely any text on this dial, and I am here for it. You've got the Christopher Ward logo in the top half of the dial, and just chronometer in the bottom half. I'm here for it. I appreciate it. There is so much about this watch that I just love. I know I shouldn't mention the price point, but honestly, what you're getting for that price point, I'm really impressed by. Where Christopher Ward seemed to be going, I'm really excited by. The details that they have put into the case, the dial, the bracelet, the fact that it tapers, everything about it is just really impressive to me, and I'm really, really pleased that I've managed to spend some time with this. Price-wise, I don't really have that many. I guess my main one would be the fact that the dial has so much going on and each element is fantastic. The dial texture is gorgeous and it has that heritage aesthetic. The dial colorways are very bold and look fantastic in the sun. The bezel, the multi-dimensional bezel, catches light really, really nicely and tops it all off with the very light-catching bracelet, which is well designed. Personally, I do prefer something that's a little bit on the simpler side. So if they had have refined and maybe taken away some of those ideas, I think that would have worked better for me. The only other thing is the fact that it doesn't have a micro adjust. Now, not a huge problem for me, but some of you out there really appreciate a micro adjust. The only thing I can say is the strap options look fantastic, and I think they would also really, really help with making it feel more like a tall watch because that bracelet can come across as quite flashy. Guys, that is it. That is my Christopher Ward The 12 review complete. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I love hearing your guys' opinions on it, so make sure you drop them down in the comments section below. If you could help a girl out and make sure you do all of that YouTubey business, make sure you have liked and subscribed to the channel, and if you have enjoyed my content and you would like to be notified of future videos, then make sure you turn on that little bell and YouTube will do its thing. Until then though guys, bye!